UJ. All right, top down analysis for UJ. We're on the monthly time frame, right? All right. So UJ has been bullish on the monthly for a little bit now, if you hadn't noticed, right? So 2021. It's 2023 right now. Let me see. Sorry, y'all. This is like my real chart that I'll be marking up with. So I marked off these highs right here, right? So when you're looking for an uptrend or a transition from an uptrend to a downtrend or a downtrend to an uptrend, you got to figure out where that point is where price has to break in order for that transition to happen, that choke, that reversal. And right here, I hate this bottom bar. All right, now we're good. All right, so you can do it a couple of different ways, right? So since we have this triangle, you can draw 3 horizontal lines like this, where those highs are, or you can draw one at the top and kind of just figure out like, all right, I need price to break here, here, and here. Or if you want to be very conservative, you can look for this to be the break. But you're trying to figure out what candles broke this high to make it change the character, right? Now for me, I probably would have been looking down here because I want to get in at the bottom as much as possible. But just for, directional bias sake, we can just use this one right here, right? So these two candles for this high was broken. And that was March of last year. Excuse me. March of last year. So until then, price has been on an uptrend pretty much, right? So price came up and it came down to 127.334. It looks like it's kind of testing an area of support somewhere, maybe here, maybe somewhere in the past. But yeah, currently price is testing newfound support on the monthly time frame. And in order for it to continue this uptrend as far as the monthly, we want to see some type of bullish engulfing or bullish variation. And bullish variation a candle should protrude this horizontal line right here. So this candle, it should break past this candle and close for it to be a bullish engulfing. Normally I say bullish variation because normally when people see a bullish engulfing, sometimes it's like 3 candles. But a bullish variation is the same concept as a bullish engulfing, but it can be 5 candles, 6 candles, whatever it takes to break past this horizontal line right here, right? So, all right, that's it. So the weekly time frame, let's go there real quick. All right, the weekly time frame. Let me see. If you've been following my top-down analysis for UJ for a little bit, at some point I marked this off to kind of establish that the market could be going down, but on a higher time frame, which is the monthly, it looks more so to be a test. But be open, to the fact that UJ could potentially go down further. Just for your awareness, it's very important for you to know that. But right now, it seems like that UJ could be coming up to close this gap. If you want, you could. People who trade UJ, sometimes they'll look at the dollar to kind of figure out what the dollar's doing, because the dollar and UJ, the charts look very similar, and I'll show you in a second when I look at the dollar. I'm probably gonna do it in the next video just because I'm doing UJ right now. But yeah. Alright, yeah, so price currently on the weekly time frame, it looks to be kind of bullish. We'll know more after this week closes. So you want a point of reference, right? So this is a doji, but still mark it off. Mark off the tip of the candle. The tip of the candle's open. Because we want to look on the lower time frames to kind of see what we see, what's going on, right? And I'm actually going to just put weekly right beside it, just so we know what time frame we drew it on. But yeah, so as far as structurally, overall structure for the the weekly, it's still bullish. Like I said, this is a test on a higher time frame. It's just a test on the monthly time frame, right? So noise, fluff, whatever you want to call it, but just be aware of it, because awareness is key. If UJ was to just slam, go down, then you want to be open to the fact that this is why. All right, so let's go to the daily time frame real quick. Let's mark off this gap before we go. All right, let's go to daily. All right. And structurally, the daily looks bullish to me as well. Still bullish. It's been bullish. So the lower high that was broken was right here, right? It's a gap right here, but to me that's still broken, because price came up, came down to test newfound support. Price came up, broke this area, then it came back down to test newfound support, and then you start to see these wicks, right? So on the lower time frame, you should see some type of transition. You should see higher highs and higher lows, going up and down. But yeah, for me, that's good enough. But for some people, they probably could have waited right here for, some of these candles to confirm their break. But for me, it's right here, baby. All right, so after that, price just looks like it's just testing. It's testing a newfound support, right? So overall, price came up, and if you use fibs, I use Fibonacci, point A, point B, right? So now it's kind of playing around at that 61.8, 78.6 price reversal zones. So essentially, the daily, as far as directional bias, is bullish. All right. So sometimes, this is why I think it's so important to be flexible with the market, right? Because ideally, this isn't ideal. I don't always want to see this on the lower time frame. Or, excuse me, when I'm waiting for a transition to happen, I'm not trying to look for this, right? So since price created a lower high, now you have to wait for price to break this lower high to continue that uptrend, right? Now, if this was gone and, it was just this and back, you can look at this as, some type of bullish variation, bullish engulfing, but it created a lower high. So now this lower high has to be broken in order for price to continue up, because it's created a level of resistance, right? But yeah, the daily is definitely bullish. And another thing to take notice of is this weekly random line that we drew, right? So we drew it on the weekly because we wanted to mark off this doji, because we want to see what's going on in the lower time frame. We can identify this as some type of bullish variation, bullish engulfing, but if you don't verify it, that price pushed up, broke this level of resistance, then came back down to test newfound support on the lower time frame, then sometimes it can be I don't say fake outs, because I don't really believe in fake outs. It can be just that the market wasn't ready, it could be noise, you know what I mean? But yeah, let's go down to the H4 to see what's going on. But daily is bullish. H4, so yep, this is the weekly random blue line that we drew. Price did come up, came back down to test newfound support, and yeah, I would consider UJ on, there it is. I would consider UJ to be bullish on the H4, because it's doing it. That's what you want to see. You want to see higher highs and higher lows created. It created a higher high, and then it created a higher low. Now, it's not a lot of structure going on right here, but if you are an intraday trader, now if you do structure on the H4, more than likely your trade is going to be a swing. Now, if you're doing structure on like the H1, I'm getting sidetracked because, I'm passionate about trading. If you do your structural analysis on the H1, more than likely your trade is going to be an intraday trade, right? And I mean that because it's more details. Like the H4, you can't even see all that. Like, I don't even trust this on the H4. Like, for me, I would have to wait until one of these highs are broken, right here, to feel more comfortable. But on H1, you can see that this is a high right here, and that it was broken. And you would wait for, price to come down right here, test newfound support, and, your first buying opportunity would be at that level of support right there. So yeah, this would be your first buying opportunity. Not up here. You buy low, sell high, right? So you want to get, if you're taking a buy, you want to get it at the lowest price possible, and then wait for it to come up. But yeah, that's what I see as far as UJ. I'm not gonna go any further because I can get sidetracked. Start talking about entries, and I don't give out signals. But yeah. All right, next we're gonna do the dollar, because it looks really similar to UJ. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna stay on this video. I'm not gonna close it. I'm just gonna move over to it just to show you how it looks very similar. It's like this is the monthly for UJ, right? The monthly time frame. Let me hide this real quick. This is the monthly. Now look at the monthly for the dollar. Very, very similar. Now you will notice some subtle differences, but very, very similar, right? So let's mark some stuff off real quick. All right. So pretty much the same thing that happened with UJ. Let's mark that off. This was the choke or break of resistance. Price came back down to test newfound support. So it did one of these. Right, that's what this is what price did. Came back down to test newfound support, and now we can anticipate the dollar to go up, you know, based off technical analysis. Now, we're not talking about fundamental analysis. There's a lot going on with the dollar right now, right? Google BRICS Nation. Google some of these crazy deals that's been happening with Brazil, Russia, China, some of these Middle Eastern countries. It's a lot that can happen in this year alone. You just got to be very careful. You don't know. We don't know where the dollar may or may not go. Yeah, so we'll see. But this is just technically. Technically, the dollar is bullish on the monthly, right? As a matter of fact, let me make a box for it. All right, so monthly bullish. All right, let's go to the weekly real quick. It's a little gap right here, actually, on the monthly. All right, cool. Let's go to the weekly. See, now this looks different. The weekly actually looks bearish to me, just at first glance. It looks bearish because of these bits of structure right here, right? I'm trying not to make this video too long, but all this is important, right? So you mark this off, like this is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? You want to mark all the, and it's clean. You know, it's not really a lot to argue. So yeah, let me take it away. Give y'all a point of reference. This right here. Right, that's our point of reference. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger so we can see it. And no, yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So all these candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 candles is the break, right? So no, yeah, the dollar looks bearish on the weekly. Yeah, it's pretty simple to look at, but higher time frame volume is very important. So because it's bullish until it's bearish, right? Each time frame has its own trend. You know, the 1 minute has a trend. You know, and it's essentially a ripple effect. The monthly being the last time frame to react, right? That's just how it is. And this is, like I said, I'm talking about technically, because whatever news events can push stuff down or up crazy, you know, so we just gonna have to wait and see for some stuff. But technically, the weekly is bearish. Current price, it touched this low right here, this level of support. We're gonna see what it's gonna do. It could break past it, you know, but this is a level of support right here. This is a actual zone right here that you can mark off that price is testing. It's also a zone right here. So we could, I would think it was safe to say, God damn it. I think it's safe to say that, you know, price could come into some sort of consolidation zone. But we'll just have to wait and see. But it looks like it could. Alright, so weekly is bearish, right? Let's go to the daily. I'm gonna delete this because it's giving me too much. Alright. Alright, what y'all think this is? No, this looks like it's gonna be a range. It does. It's giving me range vibes right now, because price came all the way up here and it's testing this area right here. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a range. I'm gonna put question mark for our awareness, right? It just looks like that, doesn't it? I want to say it's bullish because the last high that was broken, the relative high was broken, was right here. Right? It was still broken, you know, and we can use these two candles to identify that, just to mark it off. But yeah, it was broken. Price came up, but it also came back down. And yeah, it doesn't look like, now if it breaks this zone right here and it starts to look something like this, y'all notice I like my arrows, right? If it does something like this, oh yeah, we bearish all day, baby. But right now it looks like it could be testing this area right here. What they talk about on Discord. Alright, so I'm gonna leave the daily as bullish / ranging. So H4. Alright, so the H4, this is very minor structure right here, right? This is a high, but it's just so minor. I would even consider it just to be insignificant at this point in time. Now, if you go to the H1, you know, you could probably find something, but directional, as far as our directional bias and higher time frames, I'm going to leave that alone. So this is the high that I would like to see broken before I consider it to be a range or to be going back up in an uptrend. Right now, this could be essentially a test of a trend line right now. Now for me to think it's going up, we got to be patient, right? So something like that. That's what you want to see as far as this trend line is concerned right here, right? This level right here. But as you can tell, it looks very similar to UJ. Think back to UJ real quick. Right? Very similar pairs. Well, excuse me, not pairs. UJ is a pair, but just very similar in some ways. But yep, that's all I'm going to do for the dollar. I'm not going to get any more deeper than that because who knows? In the next month, 2 months, 3 months, yeah, it could be looking very different for the US. Alright, so we'll wait and see. Alright, so the next video I'm going to do is AUD USD. Y'all stay tuned, alright? Alright, I'm out.